Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Dana Ray here, back with another video. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you guys for coming back for yet another video. So today I'm going to talk about an update from being a travel x-ray tech. That's like my most popular video, surprisingly, because my channel definitely isn't about that, but I see that there are a lot of people who have been connected to me in that way because they're either in school for x-ray or they are already techs and just want to know about how it is to be a traveler. So I'm going to give you guys an update on my first year as an x-ray tech, as a traveler, where I am now and what I experienced, what I think about everything, and maybe some encouragement, and maybe answer some questions that I've gotten that you guys may not have been through the comments on that video to read yet. So this is January, what's today? January 19th, I think it is. I think it's January 19th, 2022. I started as a travel x-ray tech in January. Actually, January 7th is when I moved to San Francisco, California from North Carolina of 2021. So I've been doing this for a little bit over a year now. So in San Francisco, I can tell you guys. So the thing about it is, I'm not going to be saying like specifically where I work because, yeah, HIPAA, my safety, is none of your business. But I am going to give you like cities and what type of facility it was, and just like, you know, you'll understand if you're in healthcare, if you're in x-ray or nursing as a traveler, you get it. So when I was in San Francisco last year of 2021, I worked at an orthopedic outpatient clinic, meaning like all I did was outpatients. We did have some OR there, we had some fluoro, but I didn't do that because I was a traveler. So most of the techs that already worked there long term, they were trained in that area, so they did most of those cases. They did some arthrograms there. And mostly just regular x-ray of, you know, follow-ups or pre-op x-ray. So very busy facility. We would see between 90 and up to maybe 250 patients a day in the facility, multiple floors, just rolling. Outpatient is rolling, okay? So yeah. So the experience that I came into travel with, I graduated from x-ray school in 2012 in North Carolina. So I didn't start traveling until 2021. So at that time, I had 8 solid years of experience as an x-ray tech. Maybe 9 years, almost going on 9 years of experience as an x-ray tech when I decided to be a traveler. When I was in Charlotte, I worked, at one time I had 3 jobs at one time. I was working in a hospital part-time, evening shift. And before I took that shift, I worked weekends full-time in the hospital. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7A to 7P. And then I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to work weekends. So I went to a part-time shift during the week that I got 28 hours a week with working in the evenings. And Friday nights I would work 12 hours. Because I work four fours, Monday through Thursday. I work 4 hours in the evening, and then Friday I work 12. That would make 28 hours. And then during the day, I would work my other jobs. Okay. I would work at an orthopedic outpatient area in Charlotte for a company, and I was PRN, so that means I floated around to all of the different offices. We had like tons of offices. I don't know how, don't get me to start lying, but I would float around about 10, 12 of them within the time that I worked for the company. So I would float there and work there during the day. So I would work there from 8 to 4 some days, and then go to my evening job from 5 to 9. Then about 2 years in to my to being an x-ray tech, like after 2 years after I graduated, I decided that I wanted even another job. So I took a job as a clinical instructor for a college in the area. So that's when I kind of cut my hours down at the orthopedic outpatient place, and I pick hours up with the students. So I would work with the students 3 to 4 days a week, Monday through Friday at some point, from 8 to 4, and then go to my evening job. I did this 3-job situation, and then when the students were out of school, like on holidays and stuff, then is when I would pick up hours at the orthopedic office, PRN, or yeah. So I did this 3-job thing for 5 years until I decided that I wanted to travel, and then I ended up leaving the student job in August of 2020. And then when I had gotten an actual contract, which didn't happen until December of 2020, I left my other 2 jobs in order to go do travel. I have to give you this background because I see a lot of you guys saying that you want to do travel, that's what you hope to do, and you're in school. What I want to advise all of you to do is get your experience before you decide to jump out and travel. I had 8 years of experience, and it still is not it's not easy to transition from one place to the next, because, and I have an upper hand because I have a lot of experience in both outpatient and hospital and with students. So I have like basically all the experience that's necessary to work in any type of situation that could ever be presented to me. I have OR experience, so that's not going to throw me off my rocker. The only thing that I am not as comfortable or as strong in is fluoro. So when I go out here to these various facilities or applying for these various jobs at these hospitals, some of them way huger than the hospitals that I've worked in or trained in, it's like I'm still nervous. Because even though I have 8 years of experience, I don't know what it's like working at this hospital. I don't know what their protocols are. I don't know what kind of equipment they have. I don't know, what their patient population is like. I don't know their procedures, how much procedures they're going to be expecting me to do. I don't know how to get around the hospital because I haven't ever been in there. So I'm not discouraging you, but I'm just letting you know that the more experience you have in outpatient and inpatient and blah, 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 in all the areas of x-ray that you can get when you first graduate in those facilities that you probably did clinic in, you need to stay there for at least a year. You can work multiple jobs too if you want to. It will only help you in your travel career, because once you get out into travel, you're on your own. So you have to have confidence. You have to know how to take an x-ray by yourself. Like, no one is going to train you and show you how to take an x-ray. They're going to show you the ropes. Like, this is here, this is there, here's the button, here's the OR, like here are our positions, our protocols, but you're going to be expected to walk in there as a seasoned x-ray tech and take the pictures that are a part of the protocol without someone looking over your shoulder and telling you that that's okay, that's good. Because when you come out into travel, you have to understand that the companies that are seeking help need you to fill an open position. That means that there may not be any training there. Like, definitely not going to be like that training that you feel like you would need and deserve. So in order for you not to be offended by that, or for that not to throw you off and make your travel experience at that place horrible, you got to have your own confidence, your own knowledge, and be ready to roll. So that's my advice to all of you. people who are students or you new grads who are saying you want to travel, travel is great, travel is amazing, but it would not be what it is for me if I didn't have solid experience. Okay? All right. So I stayed in San Francisco from January 2021 to December 2021. I did not plan on that. Initially, when I took the contract, the first contract was from January to April. Usually X-ray tech contracts or nursing contracts, whatever kind of travel job you're doing in healthcare, the contracts are usually running 12 to 13 weeks at a time, unless it is a crisis contract, and sometimes those can be shorter, whatever the hospital needs. But for my first contract, jumping out from my stability of having these 3 jobs in my area and everything, I wanted something at least 12 to 13 weeks because I needed to get into travel and kind of get my feet wet and kind of get comfortable, and so I needed a good amount of time. So I wasn't accepting anything less than 12 or 13 weeks when I first started. So all in all, I stayed at the same facility in San Francisco for the entire year. So what happened was I really liked working there. It was my coworkers were amazing. I liked the outpatient, the outpatient population. I felt like I was learning a lot, and I was also very good at what I was doing. My coworkers liked me working there, and I enjoyed, we were getting 1 hour lunch breaks and everything, and that was new to me. So I really enjoyed that. So every time it was coming around for me to renew or leave, I just kept renewing my contract. I'm also a Christian, so a lot of the things and a lot of my walk and the decisions that I made were based on my belief in God and my faith in Him guiding me through my career as a travel tech. So there was some background noise from the Lord that kind of directed me to stay until December. But I stayed until December. In between contracts, I could take as much time as I wanted to off, really, but I'm a hard worker and I kind of be wanting to get my coins, so I don't think I ever took off more than 2 weeks between my contracts. I think that was the most. So but I would at least take a week off between each contract, except for the end. In the end, I worked straight through my contracts, but I took at least a week off. I went on vacations when we had long weekends. During last year, I went to, let's start from the beginning. In February, I went to San Diego. In April, I went to Vegas. In April, I also went to Miami. I went back to North Carolina in April. I went to Belize, of course. On my channel, you'll see vlogs from that. I went to Hawaii while I was in California. And did I say Seattle? I went to Seattle for Memorial Day, I think I did. So I did a lot of traveling last year between my contracts. Like, I took the time that was necessary off for me to get the full perks of being a traveler. That's the point of being a traveler, is to see the world, not just to work. Like, my whole point is to have more freedom in my job and my work. So as a traveler, you can take off as much as you want to, because after the contract is over, that's it until you sign another one. You can do whatever you want to do in between that time. Like, it's up to you and the company that you choose to travel with as far as your insurance is concerned, like your health insurance and stuff, whether that carries over. The company that I work for, my health insurance carries over up to 2 weeks. So if I take more than 2 weeks off between a contract, then I have to I think it may restart. It might even be 90 days. I don't know. But I make sure that I kind of stay within the realms of that 2 weeks. And then when your contract restarts, you just end up paying that double, for your healthcare, because you pay your healthcare weekly with my contract. So it's $20 a week for your health insurance or whatever. So then the first 2 checks that I get from the next contract, it'll take $40 out of my check since I wasn't working for those 2 weeks. I do get paid weekly. The contract amount is based on the need that is out there in the country. So the more need there is, or demand, the higher the demand for x-ray techs, then the higher the contracts are. Also, the higher the need at the certain facility, the more that they are going to offer to pay for someone to come there. So right now, contracts are falling between about $1,500 and about $3,000. $3,000 is a lot for an x-ray tech to be making weekly when it comes to being a traveler. Because when I started, the demand was low because they were not laying us off, but because of the virus and everything, it just, we weren't needed as much because things got slow. But once everybody began to leave jobs and all of that because of the mandates or whatever, then the demand went up and the patients increased. So now the demand is up for x-ray techs across the country. So the pay rates are a little bit higher right now. At my last contract, at the last job, I actually had asked for more money and I actually got more money. And this contract that I'm in now is even more money than that. So once you get in, you can request, depending on the need of the facility and your company, and your recruiter, you can request an increase in pay after you've been there. If they're asking you to re-sign or something like that, that's up to you. The money is amazing because a lot of the money is not taxed. And I'll get more into that in another video if you guys want to hear about that. But of course, you have the tax-free stipends for food, for housing, all of that. So yeah, so my first job in San Francisco was amazing, great. The city, hey, San Francisco is San Francisco. It's not nowhere that I would want to live forever, but every person that I met out there was amazing, and I really loved my job. So in December, it was time for me to take another job, and I definitely wanted to leave California. I thought I was leaving California. I did leave California for the holidays. So I had Thanksgiving off, came back to work for a week or so, and my last day was on December 17th. And I did not go back to work until January. So that's another thing. Thankfully, because God is my leader, He has allowed me to have holidays off and allowed my contract to end at the end of the year. So then I'm not even ended up having to work holidays, but I didn't really plan on that. I know that in this field, I may have to work some holidays. So, but like I said, I trust God. And so I was trying to get out of California, trying to look for jobs everywhere else outside of California. And it was a lot going on. I had turned down a job in New Orleans just because I didn't like the pay, and I didn't like that they were hiring me for only OR. I'm cool with the OR, I'm comfortable in there, but that's not what I want to go to work for. I don't want to sit in there every day because it is just not my strong point as far as me liking it. I'm a get up and go type of girl. I like my ER because it's quick. I like going to do my portables. I like my outpatients because they're coming in. I do their x-ray and then they leave. I'm not a type of person that just wants to go to work and sit in one room all day because of an OR case or because of fluoro. That's just not my thing. That's just not my strong point. I'm a quick worker. I like to be up. I like to be moving. So I didn't like that they wanted me to only work in the OR, and I didn't like that they didn't want to pay me to do that. So I turned down a job there. I had multiple interviews. I had some interviews in Chicago. And that's where I was wanting to go, but it is cold. So anyway, I was wanting to go there. I was back and forth with them, and a lot of things were happening. So then my recruiter was like, hey, have you considered California? And I'm like, well, I thought I had to leave California because the rule is that you can't stay in one place for more than 12 months out of a 24-month period. So that means you can't stay at the same facility out of in more than 12 months in 2 years. So more than 1 year in 2 years. I had already exhausted my time at this facility. So I assumed that the rule meant you can't stay in the same state. I didn't read much into it. I just assumed like, okay, well, I got to leave California after a year. But the rule is you have to get out of the 50-mile range of the place that you are at for the 12-month period. So I was like, okay, then, well, since I have my California license, I guess you can look for some jobs in California, but just can't be, within 50 miles of San Francisco. All in all, I ended up here in another part of California for right now until April. So I don't know if I want to reveal where I am right now because I don't know if I'm going to do a vlog and show you guys my apartment out and all that stuff. Just know that I'm in California again, definitely over 50 miles outside of San Francisco. In another video, I will tell you guys what part of California that I am in. But yeah. Actually, no, I'm in Sacramento, California, because I've already said it on my social media, so it doesn't even matter. Why am I keeping the secret? I'm in Sacramento, California, which is about 80 miles from San Francisco, California. Completely different experience. I'm in a hospital now. I think the hospital has about almost 400 beds, so way bigger than what I'm used to working in, because the hospital that I came from in Charlotte was like 100 and something beds. So way larger, just a lot more going on, a lot sicker of a patient. So yeah, my transition from Charlotte to San Francisco was smooth because I had already worked with all the equipment. I had already been in an orthopedic facility, multiple times before. So I know about the different views and how specific orthopedic doctors are with their, how they want their pictures to look. So that was an easy transition. This has not been as easy of a transition because I remind you, I have been out of hospital for an entire year. I have not stepped foot in the hospital. So those skills, I was kind of even worrying about like, dang, do I even remember how to push a stretcher? Like, do I remember how to do portables? So I was a little bit nervous. I was very nervous coming here on my first couple days because I felt like I had lost my experience, kind of like my comfortability of being in a hospital because I've been outside of it for so long. But upon my first couple of days working, it kind of all came back to me. Now, I will say their equipment is different. I have not used CareStream before. This place has CareStream. So that's a learning curve. I had to learn that. Their facility is way bigger. Their elevators are like everywhere. The halls all look the same. The doors are all brown. They have multiple units of ICU and stuff like that. So it's a lot to learn as far as getting to the patient when you're having to do portables. So the transition has not been as easy as my first transition, but it has not been undoable. Now, the day before I started, you could have talked to me and you'd be like, you tripping, like, girl, you got this. And now I'm like 2 weeks in, maybe like 2.5 weeks in, and I'm like, I do got this. It literally all came back. It's like riding a bicycle or driving a car. Once you know how to do one, you can drive another car if you drove this kind of car. So it has all come back to me. I am learning my way around. I have caught on very quickly. I have been on my own already. I am comfortable being on my own. I've had to do some fluoro, and I ain't touched no fluoro in a long time, like way over, a year. So that's huge. But basically they kind of like told me how to do it, and I had to do it. There was not anyone in there holding my hand. I have not gone to the OR yet, but I assume that at some point I probably will have to go. No one has trained me. I kind of know where it's at, but I feel like when they ask me to go, it's going to be because there's nobody else there to go, and I'm going to be expected to know how to get up there and run that C-arm. I'm not nervous or scared about it because I've already realized that that's how it's going to happen, because the training here is not, you know, there is not really much training. So that's why I say have the experience, have the confidence. And I am a confident and bold person, or I wouldn't even be out here traveling. But I'm telling you, you need to know how to take your x-rays. You need to know how to deal with all patient types. You need to be confident in how to go to the ICU and take an x-ray without pulling any tubes out. You need to be okay and not be passing out or scared if you happen to be sent to the OR. You need to know that you're an x-ray tech and you can do everything that you've learned in school if you have to, if someone just kind of like walks or talks you through it or tells you where things are. Because when you come out into travel, these facilities need your help. They may not have adequate staff to train you, or they may just not have a good training system. So you're going to need to be able to hold your own. Okay? So, yeah. I'm in Sacramento, 80 miles from San Francisco, still in California, skipping the winter, yay, because I don't really care for winter or snow or none of that. So I'm happy to still be here for that reason. I look forward to wherever I'm going next in April. I don't know. Yes, if you guys have any other questions about travel, then let me know in the comments. I probably have not even, it's been a lot. I said a lot because we're on 26 minutes, but I feel like I probably haven't said everything that I should say about my first year. So whatever questions you have about my first year of travel, please do not fail to leave them in the comments. If I have enough questions, I'll make a Q&A video to follow up on this, or if just a few questions, I'll just answer them to you directly. I thank you guys for reaching out to me. I thank you guys for being in healthcare. If you are in healthcare, if you are thinking about x-ray, I encourage you to go and shadow and see if it is something that you're interested in. I absolutely love my career. I call it a career, not a job, because I can do it anywhere in the world because my certification allows me to do that. So, yeah. Also, you probably got questions about licenses and everything. But anyway, ask that because I'm not going to be talking about this for longer than 30 minutes. But, yeah, if you are thinking about it, go shadow. Make sure it's something you want to do before you dip out up in there and try to be getting in school. You're not even sure if it's something that you can handle, or if you like to see, sick people. Like, everything ain't for everybody. Just because somebody else is doing it and it looks fun, that don't mean it's for you, okay? So just go shadow and make sure you're interested. And if you want to do it, do it. Healthcare is thriving. You will always have a job. Your job can be very, very rewarding because you're taking care of people. So welcome to the family. If you're in school, I know what you have gone through. I know how hard it can be. I know how uncomfortable it can be in clinic with someone watching you for 2 years, but we have all done it. We have all gone through it. And after, you graduate and pass the registry, you are free to go and be on your own, and no one ever has to watch you do anything again. So just stick with it. Focus on school. That should be your first priority. And it's 2 years of your life, and pass the registry, and then come out into the field and do and be great. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that this helped you guys who have questions, and who all watched, all 1,800 of you so far who have watched my video about becoming a travel x-ray tech in California. Yeah, that's a lot of y'all. So thank you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.